everybody. It's June 30th, or you're watching this on June 30th anyway. It is the last day of Christy's Beautiful Life Best of sketches. So I'm a little sad. It's bittersweet every time we finish one of these little series here, but next series will have exclusive sketches, so that should be fun. Let me show you today's. It is this guy right here. It is from Creative Scrappers, and it's got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of pattern paper, and or what I'm going to actually end up doing probably is an A-B side. Anyway, it's in these triangles. 3 3x4 photos, a bunch of little embellishment things, and some journaling. And it is looking like it's on a frame, you know, like a mat, so which is good because I'm going to do that. And what I've decided to use, so first off, the pictures are my mom and my bonus dad. We were in Branson, and this is like the grease car. Now, honestly, they're very similar photos. The most different one is this one, where he's kind of make a funny little face, and I think these are just adorable. They just look so cute. So I'm happy to, I'm excited because the paper collection I have is this, well, let me see here. Technically maybe 2 of them, but I had picked up Obed Marshall's Fantastico. I love Obed Marshall. I think it is so pretty. It's got this nice color palette. This is, I'm kind of picking this too because it's got these little candies, and I think of them as like sweethearts. You know, they're sweethearts. So really like this collection a lot. And then I have Fantastico's little puffy stickers. Then I also have Especials, like die cuts, but they're still in the same kind of color palette, so I can totally use both. And then, y'all, I had picked up this little die at one of the booths for $3. To be honest with you, I never had in my head what I might use it for. I just thought it was adorable. So I'm going to use this die. I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally use this thing, because I'm thinking it can go on the layout with a sketch with this big circle element was. So I gotta cut the pieces of paper out to kind of work with that. And I do have a little piece of metallic paper here, so I think I make the little license plate with it. So anyway, I think that's going to be adorable. So that's my plan. Let me get started cutting the triangle-y things, and I definitely have to do this. I don't want y'all to have to sit and wait on that, so I've got to do a few little things here. So let me work on that, and I'll come back on. Okay, everybody, quick check-in, and I say quick check-in because for you it's quick, but for me it has been, y'all, probably an hour and a half. This little guy turned out really cute. I showed y'all the die in the beginning, and I ended up getting my stash for the papers because I didn't want to cut up, well, I didn't want to get into this stuff in a sense because I thought, okay, I can make this match, and I think it does match pretty good. This is probably the only oddball, but I'm not going to worry about it. It was the back side of this, and I'm just like, I'm just going to use it because it's right there, and it's fine. So I've got my little car assembled, and I'm kind of thinking he's going to go over here somewhere. I did get my triangles cut, and what I did do was I cut a 6x6. Then what I did, because I cut the 6x6, and I realized, well, Christine, now you don't have your frame. So I went in and I cut off basically 1/8 of an inch to make this triangle just a tad smaller. And then similarly on this big sheet, I want to say it was also 1/8, but guys, if you do this, do the 1/8, and if it's not enough, then go into the 1/4. But I think it was also 1/8. But anyway, and then I scuffed the edges. So my next step here, I'm going to glue these down. And I am using a white cardstock base, by the way. I didn't gut it because it's kind of one of the cheaper pieces. It's a little bit thinner. It's not real thick. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to glue these down. These are the patterns I chose. I think I like this. Technically, in all fairness, I think the sketch shows a lighter one here and a darker one here. But for me, that's a little visually, I don't know, for me, that's not quite right. So I want to put mine like this. So I'm going to do that. And then I've got my photos here, and I did mat them. I used this paper as the mat for the back, and then a little floral was the back side of this one. So I've got these 3 here, and those are going to go obviously like this, give or take. And then that's how my little car is going to go, right? Isn't that adorable, y'all? All right, so let me start gluing stuff down because obviously this stuff's shifting all over the place. And then I'm going to grab my ephemeras, and I'm not thinking this is going to take too much longer, thank God, because like I said, it shouldn't have taken me so long, but y'all, I don't know. I was getting picky with the papers, and it just took me a minute. So let me get started, and I'll turn you back on in a second. Okay, gang, I'm going to start gluing these down, and then my daughter's actually going to call in a second because she lost power at her nutrition club, and she's like, hey, I lost power, and I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not there, but I guess I just went online and looked to see if there's any outages. There's not, so now we're not certain if they got like little rolling blackouts or something, because it is starting to get hot here in Texas. So for all I know, they're doing that. Or somebody ran into a pole, who knows. So anyway, I'm going to glue these little papers down, then it'll cut over in just a second because that's when she called. And plus, y'all don't really have to see me glue down papers anyways. So at this point, I've glued down all my triangles, and I'm going to start gluing down my photographs. Now, I thought about putting them up on foam because y'all know, again, I'm foam girl. But because I'm going to put this car on top of these left two pictures, I go, nope, you can't put the foam under there, Christine. You got to put it under the car. So in a minute, I'm going to take my car, and I'm going to Frankenstein a little bit of foam in there. I do have my little baggies of foam, and I started to try to use my little foam strips. I thought, no, Christine, you need to use this bag of Frankenstein foam. I mean, I keep saving it. I need to use it, right? So I'm going to end up kind of starting to Frankenstein this. And again, watching the film, I'm like, okay, they don't need to sit there and watch me Frankenstein this foam. So I'm going to cut over as soon as I've got it put together on the back side, and I'm going to glue it down. And so I've glued down my little car. Y'all, that is so stinking cute. I will tell you, I have forgotten to put the music notes. I even cut out extras, and I just forgot that in the die, I don't know if you remember, or you can go back and look, there are a couple little music notes. I think the idea is the car's playing some music, and I forgot them. So I may have to come back and add them. On the other hand, they're not listening to music, so I'm not really sure it's necessary. But I do think the car is adorable. So then I decided for my title, I was like, okay, it has in the sketch, it has basically it's a one-word title, but you can do whatever you want. And I ran over into my love stuff, or like my Valentine stuff, and because in my head I'm going, they're sweethearts. I think I mentioned that as well. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to spell out the word sweetheart. And that's okay for a second. And then I thought to myself, well, that's kind of dumb because there's two of them. They're not sweetheart, they're sweethearts. So now I have to figure something else out. So after I get my letters here figured out, which I'm going to nestle that sweet down in between the H and the T, kind of the little gap it makes, I get over into my letters here and I think I'm going to spell out she is, or actually initially I was going to do she's his. So I'm looking at letters. I've got the little light blue there, which I really love. I need to look online, see if I can get some more of those. That's a Pink Fresh. It's a mini puffy alpha. I think it is. Yeah, maybe the white one too. Anyway, I don't have enough letters. So I pull out this kind of more typewritten-y looking one. It's Pebbles. It's a little bit older, but I have plenty of letters, but there's no apostrophe. So then I decide, okay, that's fine, Christine. It'll just be she is his. You don't have to be so casual, right? Just spell the words out. So it's going to be she is his sweetheart is the title. I'm just setting the letters down for the moment because I don't 100% sure where the spacing is going to be. And you'll see me basically adjust those in a second. I'm going to shift those over. I'm pretty pleased with this. I will say they are adorable. I mean, honestly, they play video games together. They've got this little set of matching computers, and he makes her play. She says he makes her play. I think she likes them better than she says. But they play these little like adventure games. Don't even ask me which ones because I don't know. If y'all really want to know, comment here. I'm sure my mama will see it. But a lot of times it's like little wizard ones, or sometimes I think it's tank ones or something. I don't know. They're just basically adventure games that you play together. And they use each other strategically to get points and levels and things like that. So they do that kind of stuff. They like to watch their TV, their movies, and they're cute. They do things together, and they've been married over 30 years, like 32 years at this point. So I do think they're cute. So now what I'm doing here is going in through the ephemera, and I'm pulling out florals. So instead of, I think the sketch, and I'm so sorry I'm not looking at it at this moment. I know it had circles because I know the car was actually kind of technically a circle element. I don't recall now if it showed flowers or not, but I'm going to use flowers instead of circles, basically, is my strategy here. Now, I've got that one flower up next to the car with a stem on it. That does not stay. I'm going to switch it out for just a flower, I guess, top or petals or whatever you want to call it. I just decided at first I thought it looked kind of cute, but I was like, that's not going to really look right when I start building out my little cluster here. So I'll get him switched out in a second. But I start kind of putting down my florals in different little, my different little my little visual triangle, basically. So I thought, I pulled that gold flower out, and I almost didn't use it because I do have the little silver on the license plate. And I thought, well, Christine, that's a license plate. You're fine. Just use the gold flower, darn it. So I will come back in and put that little gold flower. I've also pulled out those little phrases on those little fishtail banners. And my apologies, I did translate them before I laid them down there because I wanted to make sure it wasn't something completely off topic. And I had the gist of them because I took Spanish in middle school, but it's been a while. One of them is something like my favorite place. One of them is precious memories, I think, or something like that. And I don't remember. So the other one's like celebrate the day, I think, or something like that. So they're all kind of like, positive, lovey type phrases. So I've decided I'm going to put those where that journaling is on the sketch. I do need to come back in here. I'll probably put it on the back and just put like a little blurb about how this is in Branson. So where this picture was taken was at the Wax Museum in Branson. So it's funny because, you know, my husband wanted to go to Branson. That's where he decided. He had some people say, oh, it's great, it's great. And honestly, and my stepdad, they'd gone like 20 years ago and had done some stuff, and he kind of remembered it fondly. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. You know, I mean, my daughter wouldn't go. She's like, it's boring. It's not going to be anything. We get up there, and there's actually plenty of stuff to do. And we come across this wax museum. It was like 3 things in one. It was like a wax museum, like a video game thingy, a maze or something. There's like a bunch of different little things. But the wax museum was definitely the highlight. And out in front of it was this grease car. The whole, you know, if you think about a wax museum, many times it's celebrities, right? So maybe movie people or whatever. And I think the intention here was just, it's because this is a movie theme or movie, I don't know how you want to say it, but I get that the whole idea there is, I guess, is this grease car because it was a movie. I get maybe, you know, what's interesting, they didn't have any of the grease characters that I recall in the wax museum. Not that I'm saying all that, but anyway, you could climb in it. Obviously they've climbed up in it, and I took a couple pictures of them, and again, they were just cute. Now I'm kind of reorganized it. You saw me kind of messing with the order of those banners there because I wasn't sure, did I still want, I kind of reorganized the colors a little bit, thinking, do I want this color on top or in the middle? I started to put the rainbow at the bottom, and I go, no, that does need to be in the middle because the other 2 are solids. And just from a visually balanced standpoint, you know, I just kind of made sure that I put the darkest color to me needs to go on the bottom many times. Otherwise your layout will look kind of funky. So I've organized my little, I will come back in. I don't know if I did on camera, if I'm honest, but they're a little bit crooked. If you notice right now, if you're looking at that going, hey, Christine, that's going downhill. They are, but I didn't want to get my head in the camera, so I couldn't look directly over it. So I'll end up coming back later and kind of straightening those up a little bit. And then meanwhile, I am taking my florals from my ephemera pack here, and I'm putting foam up underneath these, and it's building out my little clusters right here. I'm going to put, that one is going to go down, and I'll put a little bit of foam behind the leaves. And then I'll put the gold one that I vacillated on, as I mentioned, up on foam as well. And then the little blue one's just going to be flat. And the whole purpose, I'm also going to come back in here. I already know this with my puffy stickers, right? So I'm just trying to create these different levels and depths and stuff like that. I'm not a flat paper. I don't like all flat. And I know it creates dimension in my album. And I may end up giving myself less real estate. But it's just more interesting to me. It makes me happy to have different levels and create the little shadows with the different heights of the elements there. So anyway, I'm putting the foam back behind the little gold guy. I don't remember. I think next is when I pick up the foam, or excuse me, the puffy stickers. So I'm going to just stick that in there. And then now I'll start picking up. The first thing I start with, I've actually already put one foam, or excuse me, puffy sticker down on the lower left. I did put the heart already. So now I think I'm just adding these various little puffy pieces. So I do hearts, and then I do the little, like, what are they called, like star looking things, or they're like, imagine like a little shiny, like if you're thinking of the sky or whatever and you're looking up, it looks like little stars. They're not the 5-pointed stars. It's like the North Star type deal. So and on the sketch it did have like little small pieces kind of sprinkled around. So I'm just kind of looking at these and seeing which ones make sense. And again, I'm just trying to make sure the colors that I select go where you can kind of see them contrast with the paper there underneath. So I will tell you the Branson is a very touristy town. I'm not going to suggest to you that anything's inexpensive. I mean, you could get some little deals. You do have to be a little bit careful because some of those little quote deals are, so you have to go sit for an hour and listen to like a timeshare deal. So kind of depends on you. You know, if you want to sit, opportunity cost, right? So if you want to sit and spend an hour or two listening to a spiel to save $30, well, okay, that's fine. I will say there's some good deals, but generally speaking, my husband kind of started carrying on about that, and I said, I am not doing that. I mean, my God, my time's worth my money. You know, I want to go do things. I don't want to sit there and, I mean, okay, fine, they give you $100, and then what? You know. So, anyways, I didn't want to do it. My mom and Tim did go do it, but they got some discounts and things, and she got them free pictures too, the little old timey pictures. But I'm like, I am not wasting my time on that. And plus, I might get sucked in because I'm terrible. I fall for everything. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do, the layout. Let me pull up the thing there for a close-up, and you can kind of see the various different little things. I think this turned out so cute, and it's a great last sketch, right? So thank you guys so much for watching me this month. If you join me this much as a subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Please continue to watch. I do try to do videos a couple times a week, and there's usually a hop on the weekends. check out the playlist below for everybody that's played all month long, and we will see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.